When's the event's happening? Why should people come and like how much is it?
Yeah, we have $40 regular admission tickets with a $10 t-shirt option available until April 19th. And then the price jumps to $50 for last chance tickets. The event is May 3rd here in Buffalo, New York at Seneca One Towers. It's a well-rounded event. There's 20 speakers in 19 speaking spots. Great sponsors.
Hey y'all, it's Roger with Kinstead. Today I'm joined by a whole bunch of new friends, Ben, Tim, Ron, all involved with the Color Code event that's coming up in Buffalo here. And so I wanted to get some more details from you all and learn more about this event and get people to go to it. So, Ron, you're the one who put yourself in here as the co-organizer with your title on there. So I'd love to start with you and kind of just get to know a little bit about you and tell me about why you're involved with Color Code.
Okay, so Ben, Tim, and myself, we're all just, we're all developers, agency owners, teachers, and we kind of were involved for years in WordCamps and in the WordPress community here. We kind of, Ben especially, is the one that kind of got it really rolling in the Buffalo area. This year, there was a lot of turmoil in that community. But regardless of that, there's been conversations that have been happening amongst Tim, myself, Ben, about, WordPress is very platform specific. So when we have our WordCamps, everything filters through that one platform. And doing that excludes a lot of designers and other people that might get value from the conference. So we started talking this year with all of the craziness that was happening with WordPress and not even knowing if we could log into their system or not without checking a box. And we said, you know
Hmm.
what can we do? Now's the time to, maybe see if we can make one of these other conferences that we had happen. So Color Code was born from a conversation over beer and chicken wings here in Buffalo, New York.
Excellent, excellent. All right. Well, Tim, jumping over to you then, give a quick introduction and then, what is it about color code that is really going to be different and engaging for people?
Yeah, so I'm Tim Bouchard. I'm a owner and the CEO of Luminous here in Buffalo, and I got involved in WordCamp probably 2016 or 17 here in Buffalo. Stepped back a little bit, came back into it around 2023, and we just sort of saw the opportunity that we could get more marketers involved. My background's also I was president of the local AAF Buffalo chapter, so we put on events, educational things all the time too. So I have a little bit of a background in big event planning, and I just saw an opportunity to pull in some more, at least locally, agency-specific attendees, pull in more designers and content people. Everything is so heavy content now, especially in the web world where websites are great. They are the place that you still send people to, but a lot of the attention is coming through short form content or AI driven content going into, other topics with Google we don't have to get into. So with Color Code, what we're trying to do is make it a little bit more engaging, a little bit pulling people from farther away from more diverse backgrounds in terms of skill sets and things like that. So there will be more marketing and more content, more social, more e-commerce talks than we typically did with WordCamp before.
Okay, excellent. All right, very, very exciting. So well-rounded, much more well-rounded type of thing. So last but not least, Ben, um, obviously we want to hear more about who you are a little bit, and then, where do you really kind of see color code going, from this event and then moving forward?
Yeah, so I'm Ben Dunkle. I'm a professor at Canisius University. I also have a consulting business called Field 2 Design. I do my own artistic and illustrating work. And I've been doing WordPress everything since it started, pretty much. I got involved heavily with WordPress in the late 2000s, early 2010s on the design side of things, doing a lot of contribution there. And it just evolved into the WordCamps that we've been running. And then, like was mentioned earlier, this year it was problematic to get it off the ground. We had a lot of steam coming into it too, because usually we we don't put it off to the last minute or anything, but it gets crunch time and we're really hustling. But we tried to be more organized this year and get started early, which gave us a lot of time to really think about what we could do as an alternative. And so, this is just a more broadly topic event, and hopefully it'll attract a wider audience. The venue in the just the overall marketing that Tim's done is amazing. And so I feel like it's also leveled up from, we just kind of take what you get when you do the word camps and relying a lot on people volunteering and stuff. But this feels a lot more like a real professionally run conference. So I see the future of this as being something we could continue, obviously, here in Buffalo, but maybe rolling it out into other areas, in the country or even in the world. So.
Excellent. All right. Very exciting. Tim, kind of switching back to you here, are there any speakers that you're specifically really excited about? Or, I mean, obviously all of them are going to be great, but any highlights so far?
Yeah, my favorite one, and this is someone I met years back, and I got him to commit to coming, is Jordan from High Five in Orlando, Florida. If you look back and remember the Pop-Tarts college bowl game social media viral campaigns, he's coming to talk about how they thought up that stuff on your typical bar napkin, and then pitched it to the agency that was doing the creative for the Pop-Tarts bowl, and they got the social media account, and we're like, all right, I guess we're doing this now. And then it went viral for a week, 2 years in a row. And now everyone loves the Pop-Tart stuff. It's it's almost like meme worthy now when you see it on social media. So I'm stoked on him. And then there's a developer named Robert coming from Michigan who's actually making his own CMS. And he's going to talk about the experience he's had thinking about what users need and how do you do an MVP without being too minimal, and making sure you don't overcommit to code and keep it light and performance based. And that should be pretty interesting too, because we're also expanding our horizons in what we talk about how you can build websites too. I mean, WordPress is great, and we all believe in WordPress, and we believe in WordCamps still too. But the idea here is we can actually expose people to more like Shopify and other independent CMSs, and maybe some Laravel based stuff too in the future. So there's a lot to work with here when you kind of break free of the confinement of what WordCamp brings. And that's not to say that WordCamps are bad. It's just this gives us new opportunity.
Absolutely. I think it's great to have variety, different voices. We do can in the WordPress world, right? We can get siloed into it's all WordPress all the time, and there are other ways to do things. So Ron, I guess kind of throwing it back into your direction there. From an agency owner's perspective and looking at the world that we're in today, what are the things that are kind of exciting you from a marketer's perspective, from a designer's perspective, and how do you see the Color Code Conference kind of bringing those together?
Yeah, I mean, this conference is really exciting, especially here in Buffalo. We've got probably, I don't know, a big chunk of the creative community already involved as far as agencies supporting us, sponsoring. There's just a long list of really great the creative community here in Buffalo that's getting involved. But as far as what I'm excited that we're going to talk, I mean, there's talks about AI. There's talks about, like Tim said, just building your own CMS. Tim's talk about breaking away from Google and being dependent on Google, which I'm interested to see how we're going to pull that off. So, even Ben, Ben's running a graffiti artist contest. So really providing an outlet. So, I mean, that's going to be a really cool event. It's going to be happening in the lobby. We're in our iconic, the most iconic building in Buffalo, New York is our, Seneca One Tower. It's the home of our, 43 North, which is the largest startup, business contest in the country, possibly one of the largest in the world. So all of those startups are right here in our great startup community, and it's exciting just to bring people into downtown Buffalo, which is really starting to thrive here. And there's a lot of really cool things besides just the food and chicken wings. That goes without saying, but there's a lot of really cool things to experience in Buffalo, and the weather should be cooperating by then. So,
all right, excellent. Well, I guess Ben, we've got to go straight to you then. I'm fascinated to hear more about this graffiti contest experience thing. Can you give us some details on this?
Yeah, I was always interested in trying to bring an artistic side to the event, and maybe having some exhibits in the future or installations. So kind of as a test run thing, there's just going to be a bunch of easels with giant sticky notepads on them, and a bunch of markers and chalks and pens and pencils and stuff for people to grab. And then just, when you're freed up, you walk up to one and do your thing and stick them up on the wall. And we'll do a vote at the end of the event on people's choice for first, second, and third best pieces. Winners will get gift cards, and I don't know what we'll do with all the art. Maybe people can take it, or who knows. But anyways, I'll be doing some of that too. So if you want to try to beat me in the battle, you're gonna have to step up and give it a shot.
Oh boy, shots fired. Here we go. I'm excited to see how this all goes down. I think that is fascinating, right? And that to me is definitely a component that I haven't seen at specifically WordCamps and most events like this is, hey, there's a huge design artistic component to all of this. We should be promoting that and really pushing it forward. Well, gentlemen, I appreciate all your time. I try and keep these short and sweet, but as we wrap up, I'm going to point at Tim for whatever reason. Can you give us the details? When's the event's happening? And, why should people come and like, how much is it and all that fun stuff?
Yeah, we have $40 regular admission tickets with a $10 t-shirt option available until April 19th. And then the price jumps to $50 for last chance tickets. The event is May 3rd here in Buffalo, New York at Seneca One Tower. As Ron mentioned, it's one of the best buildings in Buffalo, home of the startup community. It's a well-rounded event. There's 20 speakers in 19 speaking spots. Great sponsors. We'll have about 6 tables in the lobby, the graffiti contest. And since it's right downtown, it's near all the hotels within walking distance, a lot of the restaurants, the arena district, and a lot of things going on there too. And if you're into it, I guess Shane Gillis is at the arena that night too, but it might be sold out. So there's a lot going on in Buffalo that night, but the weather should be good. And it's just a well-rounded event, and we're stoked to do it. And if we do well here, I believe we already have the support to start doing this in other cities too, and we welcome the opportunity to bring this to other places.
Awesome. This is great to hear. As we wrap out, I'd love to just do a quick round robin. What's the best way for people to get in touch with you? I'm going to start with Ben.
You can email me at bendunkle@gmail.com.
Excellent. Tim.
I'm on X like everyone else, Tim Bouchard, and you can find my agency Luminous at luminous.agency. And also, colorcode.events/Buffalo is the URL for grabbing tickets for the event, which I forgot to mention before.
No worries. We'll put a link in there. And then Ron,
Perfect.
Closing out with you.
I'm everywhere at the original RB, and then my company is Kanai Marketing Group. So we just are Kanai Group, CANI.
Excellent. All right, gentlemen, I appreciate your time. I look forward to seeing much success with the Color Code Buffalo event and then future ones coming to the major city near everybody else. Thank you all for your time.
Yeah, thank you,
All right,
Roger.
thank you, Ron.